I am sitting in this incredible, it is actually called Shape House, and it is an urban sweat lodge. And Sophie is the founder of this sweat lodge. So here we are in the middle of Los Angeles, a sweat lodge you may think a little bit odd in the middle of town, as did I, but it's not.
It's called an urban sweat lodge, and the distinction is, an urban sweat lodge is the way that the Indians actually make decisions. So they will go into these teepees that are really, really hot and sweat, 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 which helps them make these decisions. So whether it's political decisions or health decisions or the village has to move, all these decisions are made by sweating, because when you sweat, you bring yourself to a more integrated, more intuitive self. And so we call ourselves an urban sweat lodge, as obviously there's no teepee in the back room, but we are an urban sweat lodge in the sense that we really want people to bring themselves closer to their bones, and literally when you sweat, that's what happens. You kind of come closer in. And so urban, because we are in the middle of the city, as you were saying, and because there is all these other benefits that are occurring, it's not only does it have the spiritual component, but it has all these health components and these beauty components that we're going to be talking about.
Well, that just makes so much sense to me. I don't know that much about the sort of native sweat lodges, but I've certainly read a little bit, and that decision making for the elders particularly makes so much sense.
Absolutely.
But here's the thing, so you may ask, well, what happens? What do you do when you walk into this place, which, by the way, unfortunately you can't see on the video, but it's very beautiful. It's minimalist, everything is in orange and grey, so the colours are just absolutely beautiful. You walk in, so I did a sweat the other day. This is what happened. You walk in, I am put in clothes, by the way, so you don't sweat naked. And I was given this wonderful orange t-shirt, I believe, and grey sweats. So I felt very chic before I even started. And a beautiful bottle of water, alkalized water, Kangen water, just to obviously rehydrate. And then I was led into this sort of darkened interior of Shape House. And I went into my little cubicle, which is very pretty, and I lay on this incredibly comfortable bed, and I was wrapped like a cocoon in an infrared blanket. Absolutely. And I was invited, or that I could, to either be still with my own thoughts. It's a 55-minute session, correct? Or, which I have to say I did choose to do this, there was a screen and I could watch something that I wanted to watch. And what was so amazing was that I caught up on TED Talks, because Sophie has all the TED Talks, which I love watching and never get time to. But anyway, I sweated for the full time, and are there different temperatures for beginners?
No, they stay at the same temperature the whole time. So even your experience, when you think it's going higher and higher, it's not. The whole time is the same temperature.
Okay.
And we start you at the same place and you end at the same place. But the bed is containing you in such a way that the heat feels hotter and hotter.
Oh, and my heart rate went up, but it wasn't unpleasant. It felt actually really good. And when I came out and showered, I just felt amazing. My skin was glowing. I felt relaxed. It's amazing, actually, now I think of it, how much I really got out of that session, because in a funny kind of way, from even watching the TED Talks, I will never forget what the speakers were saying.
You were probably very present.
I was very present. But Sophie, enough about me. I want you to tell the viewer, what are the main health benefits, first off? Because I know people even with cancer are told that they need to sweat.
Absolutely.
So tell us what the benefits are.
Well, so when you think about it, having toxins in your body, which, the other word for toxins could be poison. Like there's things running in our bodies that are not good for us. And we don't have a culture that really supports us moving in a way that we would be sweating regularly. Actually, a doctor recently told us that sweating every day ensures you're staying healthy, because you would remove everything in your body that prevents it from doing all the good stuff it's doing all day. The digesting, the sleeping, the thinking, all the good positive things that the body can do on its own. If we get out of the way by removing the toxins, it can do it much better. So for health, it's amazingly wonderful for detoxing.
Can I just ask you, if somebody has conditions like they know that they have heavy metals, like from eating too much mercury or whatever.
Absolutely.
I know some people get their blood work done and there's actually too much mercury in their system. Is this something that they would would be beneficial.
Absolutely, I'm an example myself. I had aluminum showing in my test, which comes from deodorant, antiperspirant, as you probably know. And it showed in my test, and as maybe 3 sweats into it, I happened to have to go to the doctor again, so we did another test, and it was gone. It was completely gone. So definitely for heavy metals, it works really, really well to detox.
Okay, and what about the beauty benefits? Because clearly there are amazing beauty benefits. We are in LA.
Of course. So one of the main one, of course, is you lose weight by detoxing. You lose water weight, which that is not that interesting. You will be drenched, but that's just water, and we refill you while you're sweating to not dehydrate you. So that's not that interesting. But the bed being at the temperature that it's at, which is 168 degrees, your body obviously is not used to being at that temperature, so it fights to cool itself off by sweating. That fight between the heat and the body trying to cool off is where you burn calories. 800 to 1600 calories, which is equivalent to a 10K.
That's
laying there watching a TED Talk or something else.
Wow! So now, how often should somebody come and sweat?
No, we've invited people to more tune into themselves and discover what works best for them. Some people come once a week, some people are coming twice a week, 3 times a week. I personally, right now, I'm sweating every day. I actually just sweated literally as you were coming in.
Yes, when I came in, Sophie was on the bed sweating.
I was finishing my sweat because right now I'm wanting to get myself back on track, and I feel like my body is needing to detox a little more. So I've really developed a sense where I listen, and my body will be, as when you don't take a shower and you think of like, I really need to take a shower. For me, it's similar. When you're ready to sweat, your body is kind of starting to be a little achy, and your mind a little less clear, and your body, your thoughts, everything is a little less, sharp. Therefore, that's a time to come sweat. That's how we've been doing it.
Sophie, what for people who don't live in Los Angeles?
Yes.
What I mean, I know that Sophie's got plans, which I think I can see this shape house being everywhere.
The woman has a plan.
Yes, the woman definitely has a plan. She's quite a powerful manifestor.
That's one of the common things of Sophie's. We have plans.
We do. But for people who maybe don't know if there's one in their city, how can they find? How can people sweat?
The point is to sweat, exactly. So, if you have access to other, at the gym sometimes they have saunas. We don't like wet rooms because it breaks the sweat, the toxins that's in the water in a way that you breathe toxins. So we don't recommend,
steam rooms.
Steam rooms.
I've heard that they can be really unhealthy. Well, so if there's somebody who's had a cold or something that's been in there before you.
You end up, exactly, you end up breathing the germs and your own toxins that you're releasing in the air that is not broken into something you can breathe, which goes into your bloodstream. So wet room, not so much. Steam rooms, not so much. But saunas for 10 minutes will help you break a sweat. We don't love it as much as what we have here because your head is not in you're not breathing the very hot air. So that is better for you to do it with an infrared blanket. You know what? Sitting in your bathtub that's pretty hot with enough water that your body is immersed will help you break a sweat. So that's also a really good way to do it.
20 gallons of hot water.
That's a lot of hot water. That's a lot of hot water. But if you're not in LA, if you don't have access to this,
that's what somebody can do.
It is better to break a sweat than to not.
Right. Okay, that's great. And then obviously exercising, breaking a sweat is a very good thing.
The point is break a sweat, however way you get yourself to do that.
So we've got it from Sophie, from the Sweat Guru. We need to break a sweat every single day. So whichever way you choose, or if you happen in the future to find a shape house in your city, check it out because it's pretty amazing. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.